Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket nines. In this hand, we have an early position player raises to 2.4, almost 2.5 big blinds. He's playing 19-13. I've got 406 hands on him. We've got 3-bet range, 3-bet versus blind range, 4-bet range, call 2-bets from the blinds, plays turn aggressively. We've got some of these hands, but I don't really know what he's doing. I thought I kind of had an idea of what kind of range to form, and then I look at this stat, early position. He plays 40% of hands, 4 out of 89. So I think this guy is actually going to be fairly tight. So we're looking at a range probably like this. Question is, if I 3-bet with my nines, does he call? Does he fold? I think he calls with ace jack, ace queen, king queen. Maybe he folds with king queen, but I think for the most part we're not getting these 57% folds that his stats look like. But that could change because we have a caller. This guy's playing 33-0 over 9 hands. Hard to give him a range, so I'm just going to go with something like this. This is about 20%. I think pocket pairs. You've got your suited connectors, suited one gappers, suited aces, some suited broadways, your suited broadways, some of these offsuits, including Jack 10, something that's rather passive, gives you 20%, and then it's going to fold to me. And what do? I called. When we look at my range and we see button versus EP, we could potentially say it's button versus a tight EP, which is probably what we look at. So we're looking at a calling range that looks something like that. I would say once we have this call, we may be able to 3-bet a little bit more for a squeeze. And it's going to be hard. Yeah, he's going to be calling, but then if he doesn't have a pair on the turn, then or on the flop, then it's going to be hard for him to call. So we look at these hands, we're really looking at ace king, ace queen, king queen, ace jack. These cards is what we're really looking at, and hoping that he has, so that he would fold to a flop c-bet. However, I just don't know. I think his range is tight. If he was in middle position, I think easily we've got a 3-bet here with nines. Benefit of the 3-bet is that it's going to put a lot of pressure on these guys. They'll probably fold, and then villain 5 really has to decide. If he calls, this guy's probably going to call too, and he's going to go 3-way out of position. So good chance that he might just fold. Especially he'll have a wider range. So in any case, both of the blinds call. We've got few hands, so small blind, I'm going to say we're looking at a range that looks like that. Suited aces, I think, are pretty standard. Pocket pair, suited connectors, king, queen, king, jack, suited, and then like ace, jack, ace, queen, king, queen. I think these are hands that players end up calling. And then the big blind, he's going to have a much wider range. He closes the action. It's about 1.5 big blinds for him to call. I'm going to give him something like this. He could actually be wider than this. But he's playing 27-19, and we don't have a huge number of hands on him, so it's kind of tough to say what he's going to play. In any case, we take a flop, ace, jack, jack. This is not a good board for us at all. With this many people in the pot, we're gonna likely be done with it. Even if it checks all the way around, I'm just gonna check and take the turn and hope to get a 9. It's just too likely that somebody has an ace, and with these 4 opponents, I would guess someone has a jack. If they don't have the jack, they have an ace. So everyone checks to me, and I check. Now, the one that I think matters is going to be villain 5. The first 2 guys, I think, are going to have their entire range. This guy checks. So what is he going to check? It's entirely possible that he checks quads in a full house. His c-bet stats are 65, 69. I think if he has quads or a full house, he's basically crippled the board. So I think he's probably going to have those as a check. Top pair's probably playing cautiously because of the jacks that are out there. And I think he's going to go pocket pair less than the top card. And then, so basically it looks like, I think he's probably going to be 100% there. And then this guy, I do think quads full house is going to check. I think 3 of a kind, though, is going to probably bet. And then top pair is going to probably check. So we're looking at something like this for that player. And then for us, we're just going to check everything. I think if we have quads, we're betting. And the question is, if we have quads and we bet, and we have full house and we bet, and we have 3 of a kind and we bet, what other hands are we going to bet as a bluff on this type of board once everyone checks? Maybe we bet the gut shot. Maybe we bet the 2 card backdoor flush draw. We're at 4. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we bet those. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we have to include the gut shots as well, I guess, just to balance. And maybe we don't do all of them. Maybe not the clubs for value. But I think those are going to probably be our betting range here. We're going to be aggressive. What we're going to try to do is bet to get value from these hands. Because I think we're going to get value from ace. I think an ace is going to call no matter what. And I think we have a jack. But if we look at like the quads, yeah, ace jack, we're looking for that last jack. These hands, 3 of a kind, queen jack, jack 10, we're hoping that the ace is out there. We'll know when we bet, what's out there. Could we slow play? Yeah, we could always slow play, but we're in position. Everyone's checked. I think we go for the pot. Especially you're going to see players that call with like queen 10 here. They're going to call with king queen 10-9 and hope to like back into a straight. So I checked, and then we see a jack, and everyone checks again. So I think at this point everyone's going to check. I don't think an ace is going to want to bet. I don't think the jack is going to bet. It's all just slow playing here. So I think everyone has their entire range, even this guy. I think he's just gonna. I think this is just going to be a good slow playing board. Yeah, everything else that they have, it's gonna be a check. What could we do? Well, we checked initially. Maybe we bet. Yeah, I'm just starting to think that no one showed anything. Yeah, someone could be slow playing the jack, but I think at this point, since I didn't raise on the flop, I think we can just go ahead and raise with everything that we have. And if we get called, we get called. We're just no one showing anything. So we would do with our entire range here if we had, if we didn't bet, and just try to, see if we could take it down. That last jack just sucks. So now we're playing the board. That's all we can do. Villain bets. We get a call, and now it comes down to we're splitting this pot. That's what we're doing. But what's the rake? So this is Winning Poker Network. So we have invested 2.5 big blinds is what we've invested. And my get, so this is a 25 NL game. That's 50 cents. I called, but the question is, was that a good call? Is rake gonna hurt us? So, I'm all in. Rake comes out of this entire pot. And villain 5 is interesting. So we didn't have king 8 in his range. We actually had him as a much tighter range. So RFI 2.48 big blind in EP with king 8 spade. Out of position, multi-way, check, check, check. On an ace club, jack of spades, jack of diamonds, jack of clubs, jack of hearts. And then we're gonna actually take a note for this player too. Call 2.48 big blind. So call EP from SB with 7-4 spades. Out of position, multi-way, check, check, bet all in on ace of clubs, jack of spades, jack of diamonds, jack of clubs, jack of hearts. Just getting information down as to what they call with. So really, I think the important one is this player. This player, he actually was looser than I expected. Maybe it was because we had multiple callers. But in any case, how do we change this hand? I think it would be a hard time for either of these players to call. If we bet the flop, if we bet the turn. So I think we missed our bet. We should have bet the flop. If we didn't bet the flop, then we should be betting the turn when it goes check all the way around. Yeah, we've got a nines. Anyone with an ace beats us. Anyone with a jack beats us. But it looks like no one's really wanting the pot. Yeah, someone's going to slow play the jack, especially if they have the jack. They're going to slow play. But I think we just need to be aggressive and try to take down the pot. All right, hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.